we are here with Wade Hill, Fort Payne City Council candidate. Your first question is, what do you think are the top 5 most important issues for Fort Payne, and how do you plan to achieve those and or pay for them?
Top 5. That's a little bit difficult in that we've got probably 15 projects going right now, but probably just top 5 and not necessarily in priority order. But one of the first things a lot of people are concerned about is going to get rid of the old hospital. That's in the works, been in the works for the last 4 years. It's one of those deals where if we don't do it right, it's going to cost the city over $1 million. If we do it right, then we can knock it out for a couple of $100,000 and do it ourselves. I would like to see our sports complex move to the new property we bought and enhance that facility. We've got a tremendous opportunity to make that a real jewel in this area, to bring in sports tourism. We're very well liked on ecotourism, but we can combine the two. We've got a project going on right now where we've got 2 major sewer projects. One's going out for bid this week. One will be bid out in the next few months. Those will both turn force mains or areas that have no sewer into areas that have sewer, or eliminate pump stations that will eventually pay for themselves in the savings for the pump stations. Our downtown area, we're currently trying to get a grant to do the sidewalk rehab in the downtown area from 3rd Street South to 8th Street North. The curbs are not properly sufficient for people to get across the street that are handicapped. But as usual, we wind up having to wait on the state of Alabama to bless anything we do on Galt Avenue, because it is not a city street. It is a state federal highway through town. So we're having to work through those. And I'd love to finish up the 5th Street project that we've got some paving on now, but once again, 2 years now, we've been waiting on approval to get that thing done and convert that into a parking area and change the radius for the trucks that turn north from 5th Street that literally are going through the power poles or the parking lot now. So those are a few things. We've got a major project on the south end of town. I would love to see us get the overpass over the railroad announced and done. We've done the groundwork on that, and we're ready to go with that as soon as the state will give us the green light.
All right. Second question is, setting and maintaining a city budget can be difficult. How would you plan on raising revenue and cutting expenses?
Well, we made a very hard decision 3 years ago that hadn't been done for several years because people are afraid that they couldn't get reelected if they did make that decision. And we raised the sales tax 1 penny. That 1 penny brought an additional $3 million a year into the revenue stream of the city. Our budget right now for the last several years has been on average around $25 million. We bring in $20 million in the general fund revenue and around $5 million off our proprietary funds, which are sewer, sanitation, the airport, and the golf course, which we own. So we bring in about $25 million, we spend about $25 million, but we've got a revenue stream now that's keeping us viable. We've paid off short-term debt over the last 4 years of over $1.5 million. We've got our cash position back up over $12 million now from an all-time low of $6 million when I took office. So we've got revenue coming in. We've got $20 million in the bank drawing interest right now to do whatever major project we have to do. And we've got a cash sheet that ended in June of $12.3 million cash in the bank and all the various accounts. So the city went from being nearly broke and having $185,000 on the cash sheet in the general fund 3 years ago to having, for the first time in 4 years, we put money back into a cash CD for the general fund and have $12 million in the bank as of June 30th.
Okay. All right, the last question is, what do you think the role of a city council person is?
I can tell you, as a department head with the fire department and coming up through the ranks, I've watched city council members function for years, and I've watched some of them be very active and some of them be basically just going through the motions. And I've been proud of the crew that I've served with the last 4 years. I think we've been very active, and we've tackled some very difficult situations, and we made some hard decisions. We didn't always go unanimously on that road, but we worked it all out. And you're gonna have to be willing to toughen up and take all the grief. You're gonna have to forget about Facebook for a while, because all you're gonna get off Facebook is a pat on the back and 6 knives in the back. So people will tell you how to do your job that have no concept of what your job is. tell you what you're doing wrong when they don't want to step up and do anything other than get on Facebook and gripe about it. So Facebook is something that I look at just to kind of put some information out, but I don't go by people in Houston, Texas griping about what I'm doing in Fort Payne. You know, I deal with the people that I see at Bruce's Food Land or Tractor Supply or Fort Payne Feed and Seed. When I go in there and shop, those are the people that I listen to that want to talk to me, or people that get a hold of me and tell me, hey, I'd really like for this to happen or that to happen. And then that's what we do. I think we've been very receptive to people giving us their ideas. We've had very few complaints, but you can go back and look over the last 4 years. I just wrote down the other day, I think we've tackled about 41 major issues in the last 4 years in this town, and we addressed every one of them. And I think we addressed all of them properly. And we're just now in a position to start building some things here.
Okay. Last, just tell the voters a little bit about yourself and why they should vote for you.
Well, I'm a lifelong resident of Fort Payne. I was born here in the old hospital I want to tear down, as was my wife. We've been married 41 years this September. I have 2 children who are grown and live here and are raising their families here. I have 6 grandchildren. I've got 3 of them in the school system here. 2 coming on in the next few years. They range in age from 16 to 10 months. So I carried my granddaughter's kindergarten, pre-K every day last year, even the first day. Her mother's a teacher in Georgia. And so I get to go to school traffic. I deal with all the soccer moms and the school traffic and everything. I know what needs to be done in a lot of places, and I've tried to get that done. I spent 29 years working for the city, 12 for the county, and now I work for the state. I'm semi-retired. And I've seen the best in people and the worst in people. I've gone from helping people my whole life to working murder cases now for the DA and getting those ready for trial. So I've been there, done that, and I think I've done enough the last 4 years to show people that I'm serious about this job, and I'd like to finish what we started here.
All right, thank you very much.